Hi, I'm Ryan Murphy with P3 Kinesiology. One of the biggest questions I get asked is what is kinesiology? Along with what is Pilates. So if you've never heard of either of those things, this is the right video for you. Kinesiology is really just the study of human movement. We study things like physiology, so looking at kind of our organs like heart and lungs and how we kind of take air in and utilize it. Also looking at maybe our intestines and our stomach and whole digestive system and how we turn, say, food into energy. These are some of the things we might study. We might look at some more biomechanics and how muscles and joints interact to create movement. And then looking again, what are some of the patterns that might be getting in the way that creating, again, dysfunction or pain. But then also psychology and looking at what are your beliefs and your opinions and your ideas around your body about the process of maybe exercise, maybe about pain. Pain is a big one. And being able to start to look at some of those perspectives and how they may in themselves be something that's a limiting factor within your growth. And so I try to take all of these things together. And after doing this work for over 10 years now, I've realized that a lot of it is me asking questions and trying to get it to a sense of why. Like, why is this person trying to do this thing? Because you can give somebody the exact right practice that might suit a specific need, but if they don't see the purpose within it themselves, if they don't feel that purpose, then the consistency is often a little bit more limited. So I'm really trying to make people as self-sufficient as humanly possible so that, they don't need me, but maybe want to come in and work with me still. And so that's kind of my process, and that's where I created P3 as purpose, practice, and perspective. Getting a sense of purpose, not just what do you want to see happen in your life and through your practice, but also who do you want to be and how do you want to feel? And those things can really inject a sense of motivation and drive towards whatever you're trying to take on in that practice. It gives it more meaning and purpose for you, and that will ideally help to create more motivation and drive over the long term. Practice, really trying to create practices that aren't just the standard, this is what everybody should do in this situation, but trying to make it suit where you're at. If you've been doing CrossFit for years versus never exercised before, that practice has to be shifted and adapted towards where you're at any given point. So that's an important piece, is being able to tailor things towards your environment, your person, your needs, your goals, your desires. But then also perspective, helping to shift maybe perspective or build some perspective around ideas like what is strong. Like, what does strength mean? If you've got Arnold Schwarzenegger in your head, but you actually want to run a marathon, you're probably not going to be suiting your practices in the right way. So building a perspective around what does strength mean for you. One of the big ones for me, especially with being a kinesiologist and often doing kind of active rehab cases, is pain. Pain, really helping people understand that pain is not necessarily sensing damage within our body. It can do that, but it's often sensing danger. And so the more that we kind of feel that danger and feel this great anxiety about some of these issues in our body, and we feel like we might be broken and need to be fixed, then often that can be a self-reinforcing pattern where the pain gets worse and worse and it doesn't necessarily subside. So being able to find strategies for not just dealing with the pain in physical ways or with different practices, but also shifting maybe the way that we view it to help to try to change the experience of it. And that's easier said than done, but it's, again, a big thing that can have a huge, as somebody, I've dealt with depression and some anxiety throughout my life. And so the biggest things that I've been able to do is be able to reflect, start to think about some of these things, my ideas about myself, and some of the shame and other things that might have come up, and being able to maybe shift that mindset and look at it a little differently and be able to think about it a little differently so that even if I don't do anything differently physically within my body, it might make me feel different throughout my life. And that's, again, a big piece of what I hope to do with people, is help them shift, again, not just getting a six-pack, but being able to feel stronger, more powerful in their own lives and feel like that they can grow. Because I want to help people learn, and that's the educator in me, is wanting to help people learn and understand things, but also be able to change and grow and find ways to adapt and find that version of themselves they want to be and start to walk that path. And so, yeah, that's what I try to do as a kinesiologist. I bring a whole bunch of things in. I've got Pilates background, strength and conditioning. I come from a whole bunch of different worlds. I love yoga. I love getting on my bike, going snowboarding. So I really try to pull from a whole bunch of different places and try to find, again, how do I help people find strength? How do I find them find mobility, but also greater understanding of themselves and what they're trying to do within their lives and who they're trying to be? And so, yeah, that's how I work as a kinesiologist. Hopefully that explains a little bit about what kinesiologists are. In BC, where I'm at, I live on Vancouver Island. We end up working with ICBC cases a lot. If you've been in a car accident and you're trying to recover, right off the bat, ICBC will cover sessions with a kinesiologist to start to work through that, as well as physiotherapy, chiro, massage, which are all really valuable tools for helping us deal with some of the physiological things going on in our body. And with kinesiologists, we're really not touching anybody. We're not doing massage. We're not sticking needles in. Our goal is to make people self-sufficient, is to get them moving, getting them to build some of these practices and coach them through the challenges they come up against so that they can do it all themselves, so that they don't need somebody else to do that. So if you're ever interested and you want to work with me, you can go to p3kinesiology.com to learn a little bit more. I've got online group classes that include mobility focused classes, strength focused classes, as well as Pilates, but I also do one-on-one coaching and wellness coaching. So again, go to p3kinesiology.com to learn more, and hopefully this shed a little bit of light on what a kinesiologist is.